Morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, March 10th, and thank you again for joining in to our weekly PPACA webinars. Really glad that you take some time out of your busy schedules and sit in. Hopefully, I can give you tidbits of information each week that you walk away thinking that your time wasn't wasted. So hopefully that's the case. Just with a show of hands, if you can just give me an indication that you can see my screen, I'd appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. All right, excellent. So let's get right into the agenda. Just a reminder, on the individual under 65 business, UPMC will not pay commissions after starting with 5/1 effective dates. That means that Independence Blue Cross is the only carrier on the individual side that it will still be paying commissions through the special election period of 2016. So if you've not heard that before, write it down. Obviously the decision is yours whether you're going to continue to write business pro bono. That is certainly your decision and your decision alone, but at least you know what you're up against. And if you write an IBX, you can get paid. If you write a UPMC up until 4:30, you can get paid as well. I'm sorry, no. You can write UPMC up to 3/31 and still get paid as a 4/1 effective date, but 5/1 and later, no compensation. So on to the group, like it, keep it. There was a CMS blast that indicated that there was an extension to the grandmothered provisions for the group programs. Most of you remember that the President allowed the states to make the decision as to whether they are going to allow the grandmothered plans to continue. There was originally a cutoff date of October 1st of 2017 that has now been extended to 12/31 of 17. Again, I'm not sure what that means for the carriers. They're still trying to figure out what the Pennsylvania Insurance Department will allow and then how they will adapt and their decision on extending these grandmothered provisions. So as soon as I hear anything, I will certainly let you know. Capital Blue Cross was early out of the gates, and they said that as of 6/1 renewal dates on their groups, their small groups, they will not be offering the continuation of the non-PPACA programs, aka the grandmothered plan. So if you have groups that are renewing as of 6/1 through the rest of the year and into 17 as well, they will only be offered an ACA option. Another thing with Capital Blue Cross, they have something very similar to Highmark's active choice medication, and it's relative to the mandatory maintenance drugs, or the maintenance meds. They do have a mandatory maintenance choice, where if somebody is taking a medication, they can get a 90-day supply. They can choose to have that through the mail order, or they can pick it up at a CVS pharmacy for the 90-day supply. If they continue to get 30-day fills and don't transition to a 90-day fill pickup at CVS or through the mail, then those prescriptions will not be covered. So you have a limited number of 30-day fills of maintenance meds at any pharmacy. After that, your plan will cover maintenance meds only if you have a 90-day supply. So just be mindful of that, and if you get any pushback from your clients, this flyer will be in my newsletter that went out this morning. So, upcoming changes. Let's talk about some of these. And again, I put a picture of a person throwing their head on the desk because, or banging their head on the desk, because, just as soon as I get all these bullet points prepared, they change. So we'll go through a couple of them. Next year the out-of-pocket maximums are bumping up again, so it's going to be a $7,150 single or $14,300 for family. That's pretty significant. Another change is, and I think this is a positive, the federal government must post all changes to premiums that are filed, not just those that have increases that are subject to review. So what that means is the consumers are going to be able to see all filed rates. We're going to see what the rates are, who's requesting a small bump, who's requesting a large bump. And I think that's important. Consumers are carrying the burden of this law on their backs, and I think it's important that everyone in the industry and consumers of health insurance have access to this information and it's not hidden. So I think that's a good one. Network labeling to alert consumers to narrow networks. This was supposed to go into play for the marketplace as of 2017, and that was delayed. The insurers kicked back on that, and the result is that HHS decided that they would delay that. That, to me, is a loss for all of us. These narrow networks certainly have, competitive pricing, and that's the danger of it, because when people are out on the marketplace and not having an agent assist them, or having the marketplace assist them and just simply go by pricing, these consumers really need to know how limited that network is. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. It's going to be delayed. So it looks like if the commissions are paid in 17, that we'll have to again make sure that we're mindful of the limited networks for the consumers. CMS also proposed and created 6 standardized model plans. They were supposed to be offered in conjunction with any other filed plan that carriers have for 2017. That again has been delayed. Well, maybe not necessarily delayed, but it's no longer a requirement. A state can adapt or adopt the standardized plans if they choose to, but it's not a requirement. Another one that I think is great for changes is that if somebody is having active treatment and the doctor pulls out of the network, then the doctor must continue to treat this patient for 90 days, and the insurance company has to treat that as in network for the 90 days. Of course, if it's cancer, pregnancy, those sort of things, that's where this continuity of care is really going to benefit everybody. And with everybody coming in and out of networks like they do, it's also a protection for the consumers. The last one, we knew to expect it. Every state has navigator rules and laws and what agents can do and what navigators can or can't do. But it does seem that the government is going to be relying more heavily on navigators. They're going to include teaching people how to use their insurance, what deductibles are, help people enroll, of course, and assist with appeals for denial of coverage and help to obtain exemptions to the denials. So their duties will expand in 2017, and certainly you have to be mindful of that as well. So on to our Gemini program. I know that a lot of you have expressed interest in our Gemini Partners program, and for those of you that are producing groups, small groups, large groups, etc., it is beneficial. If you want to reach out to me, I'm certainly happy to talk to you about the Gemini program. The group shared bonus is currently at $45,000, and that's going to continue to increase until the end of this year. And the minute your Gemini application is received is when the clock starts ticking, and any group submitted after that time as a Gemini partner would be eligible for a portion of that $45,000 or whatever it will be at the end of the year. So it is, pardon me, very lucrative. And if you want more information, please let me know. So that really brings us up to the open forum. I did attach a handout for everyone, and it's a very simplistic approach to really taking a look at what the candidates are talking about as far as their views on the PPACA law and how they may or may not change it if they are elected. So again, it's a very simple form, and hopefully it's beneficial. There's not tons of details out there, but I tried to gather at least the basics, and hopefully it helps, at least in your talking points, if nothing else. Pardon me. So that is attached for you. And we'll open it up to questions. If anyone has a question and wants to raise their hand, go ahead and do so. I can unmute you. It looks like Jim wants to ask a question. I'm going to unmute Jim. And Jim, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Hey, Jim, do you want to ask a question to everyone?
Well, I saw the hand was raised. I've been trying to keep it down.
Oh,
but I
okay.
do have a question. I do have a question, though, just off the top of my head.
Okay.
What is the future for brokers in the individual market for under 65? What are your thoughts after this year?
Well, it was a tough year. I think everyone will agree. You know, every year you think that you learn more and you can be better and more efficient, but that really hasn't been the case. I think that for 2017, I do believe that the carriers are going to pay compensation for open enrollment period. What that compensation will be, I don't know, because quite frankly, no carrier wants the business. They don't want this block. I do think from this point forward, any commissions during SEP are probably off the table. So that's kind of what our plans are. You know, we're moving forward with that in mind, and I don't know when we're going to have the information as far as what the compensation is going to be. Probably, you know, October, but that's kind of what our thoughts are.
Okay, thanks so much.
Sure, thanks, Jim. Okay, I'm going to open up the questions now. Oh, it looks like I have a lot. What about CBC 50 to 99 like it, keep it groups? Dave, I think that includes, you mean, oh, you know what? I think CBC is doing away with that as well, but I will find that out because I don't recall on that flyer if it had anything on it about the large group. So I'll find that out, Dave, and circle back around with you. Bill says that he's been cleaning up after Navigator since day one. Yeah, I agree. Dave asks who pays Navigators. They're paid through grants, and of course the FFM workers are paid through our tax dollars and you know, directly from the government. Joe says they expand and we get cut out. Go figure. Yeah, I know. I hear you. Kim says mandatory refills on maintenance drugs. Is that for group and individual market? It is specific to the individual market. But Kim, I will check to see if that's relative to group as well. I don't know. Have to write these things down because I may forget. I'll circle back around with you, Kim. And Kelly wants to have an explanation of the standardized plans. From what I've read, and I've not read a lot on it, Kelly, because I choose my battles, and what they talked about is having a plan, 6 standardized plans that no matter what carrier you go with, they're all the same. They have the same deductibles, they have the same out-of-pocket maximums, same co-pays, everything. For instance, they said that, like as an example, all bronze plans would have a $6,600 deductible on the standardized plan. So that would go from carrier to carrier, and that's really about all that I know. I can do a little bit more digging as well and see if I can find any more information on the standardized plans and get that to you. Joe says, is the capital mandatory maintenance med fills related to individual? Oh, I don't know that. I have to find out. I'll circle back around with you as well, Joe. Bill says, we have been assisting consumers to complete a PID complaint form and urge everyone to make your clients aware of it, even email it to them. I agree. You know, I've had the Pennsylvania Insurance Department consumer complaint form attached to my webinar the last 3 weeks. It's also been in my newsletter. If you need it, let me know. I'm happy to email it to you. As I've mentioned the last couple weeks, I really do think that the only way that we can, you know, at least cause a bit of change is to have the insurance department hear directly from the consumers that have been adversely affected by, you know, an unknowing untrained, uncertified, unlicensed person. So that's something that I think we need to continue doing, because consumers are the ones that it will make a difference in the Pennsylvania Insurance Department's mind. So I encourage everyone to do that as well. Thanks, Bill. And that's all the questions that we have today. And just a reminder, next week, Thursday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, we will have our weekly webinar, and hopefully you'll all be able to join in as well. For those of you that ask questions, I'll circle back around with you personally, and then I will also add the answers to next week's webinar so you can all know the answers. So I wish all of you a great day, and hopefully you can get out and enjoy this beautiful 76-degree weather, nice taste of spring. So enjoy yourself and enjoy the weekend. Bye-bye.